now you know who my half brother is. That discussion was all about half siblings. And after that hour-long conversation, which took us like 15-20 minutes to set up, here are just some of my takeaways. The first would be how blessed I am, and how blessed my brothers, Ryohei and Kohei, are that we get to enjoy this kind of peace and understanding in our family. And as my brother said in the discussion a while ago, it has a lot to do with how our parents, my dad, my mom, and my stepmom, all facilitated such a peaceful environment. As far as I remember, growing up as a kid, I was 16. No, sorry. Ryohei, the older of the two, was born when I was 10 years old. As a 10-year-old, you understand very little about what a half brother means, right? I mean, you understand the concept, but of course, you go through, questions, and you go through some heartaches. You go through a roller coaster of feelings, right? And I told him in the discussion, the first time I actually ever saw him was when I was already 16 and he was 6. And that was right after my high school graduation. They came here to the Philippines, the whole family, my dad, my stepmom, my two brothers, they came here to the Philippines to congratulate me. And it was, it changed my life forever. That whole, introducing a blending of families. So much so that in college, I even did a paper on binuclear, bi meaning two, bi, binuclear families. Bottom line is, I look back, I just look back at the Facebook Live conversation we just had an hour ago, and I continue to be in awe and how blessed we are that we can keep the peace and the communication and the understanding. And that didn't happen overnight. It was really a product of my parents, efforts as we were growing up, to for us kids to be acquainted with each other. That's the first takeaway, that we're very blessed. That although our family dynamics is atypical, unusual. Um, our family, our parents find a way to make it work. And it takes a lot of maturity for my mom, a lot of maturity for my stepmom, to have that openness to keep the lines of communication between children open. What do we know about step parents and step siblings, half siblings? What we see on TV is just all, backbiting and, siraan, right? Siraan. What we usually see in media is families arguing with each other. But in this case, I'm really proud of what my dad was able to create, even if, it's, of course, as my mom would say, it's not the kind of family dynamics that we should tolerate. It's not to say it's okay to just have, multiple marriages. That's not the message I am getting across tonight. But given the situation we have, I am very proud of how my dad was able to bring us together, and growing up, not having any resentment towards each other. And then second is, I'm really happy that it was actually my brother's suggestion that we do a tandem Facebook Live, because he's been watching my live sessions recently, and he's a really good communicator. For those who watched the recording we had earlier, he speaks impeccable English. I mean, he joked around a while ago. He said, "I'm made in Japan but sold to the UK." Growing up here in the Philippines, I would always refer to him as the Japanese Harry Potter, because he speaks like Harry Potter. So he has, I mean, not just language, accent in that sense, but he's a very good communicator. He's actually very funny too. if your families are abroad or you're far away from certain members of your family, I mean, there's no excuse now because there are tools. We have all the tools that we could possibly need to keep our relationship, our conversations with our loved ones open. And you just have to set aside time and make an effort. And then later on, you realize it was the best hour or the best 30 minutes of your day, just talking to the people we love and the people who are closest to us. So I'm really glad that he, brought up that suggestion because quite frankly, I sort of said, maybe this Facebook Live business should stop already because maybe I'm just flooding people's walls with um with my face, which is not my intention. And sometimes we run out of inspiration, right? We run out of things to say. And the last thing I want is for me to just be a parrot, talking about things and not living it. So I had to like pause for a while from this Facebook Live, but it was through his prodding that he said, let's make one together, as brother and sister. So for those who have brothers and sisters, especially if you're already all grown up, it's rare for your siblings to invite you, right? Say if you live with your siblings, to invite you to watch a movie or to have a dinner together. And when that invitation comes, please grab it, take it, because you never know when the next invitation will be, especially when they're grown up already, they're married and have children, right? Um, and it also goes the same for parents. Like when your parents invite you, uy, kain naman tayo dito sa labas, let's eat outside, or let's watch a play together, or do something fun. Those invitations that come rarely because of our busyness, if possible, grab the opportunity because these are the memories that you will remember. And oftentimes, it's the initiation that's the hardest part, right? To initiate something and next to actually execute it and to have follow through to keep your promise. So that's the second takeaway. Make time for your family, uh, and appreciate initiations or initiatives that are made by your family members. Grab it when you can, while you can. And third point is I look back, I remember when I was young because I'm the only child of my mom. But the truth is, we were supposed to be three kids. Two pregnancies after me didn't work, no? And growing up, pretty much an only child. And then, lo and behold, many years later, 10 years later, I gained a brother, and then another 2 years, another brother. So those two miscarriages of my mom did eventually come out as two brothers, but through another womb, through another mom. So I guess it was set in stone, set in God's plan that I'd be the eldest, and have two brothers, as part of my heart, as part of my family. So there, I just wanted to just summarize the 3 points that I gained from my conversation with Ryohei. Uh, the first is our thanks and our gratitude to our parents for facilitating keeping the peace in our family, especially my dad, for not creating walls, but in fact allowing us to continue to stay acquainted, even when we were small kids, those long distance phone calls and those letters and photos that were exchanged across the miles. We didn't understand much of that yet when we were young, but now that we're grown ups, we're very, very thankful and blessed that our dad and our moms set the stage for us to be able to enjoy this kind of adult conversation without any uh, awkwardness or discomfort. Second is when a family member initiates something, a dinner, a movie, a phone call, life gets very busy, but grab it. Make time. Make time for your family. especially your siblings. Because I read somewhere that in the end, it's your siblings you will grow old with, right? Some things aren't meant to be at a particular moment, but if it is really for you, it will eventually come in another form. And what am I talking about? As a kid, I was always only child. I'm supposed to have two siblings, but unfortunately, they were miscarriages. And 10 years down the road, I gained two brothers, right? Although not the typical family dynamic, still family.